At a time when the country is on a very sharp growth trajectory and all eyes are on India and its growth prospectus, taxation plays a very important and key role. Today, I'm joined by Revenue Secretary Sanjay Malhotra, who would give his insight on taxation and related issues. I would like to start on a very offbeat, non-budget. We've just had the union budget, and in the budget, Finance Minister Madam spelled out how 74% respondents of a survey, which constituted of traders, MSMEs. So these traders said how they were comfortable and contented with the threshold limit increase from 20 to 40 lakh. And so by and large, the acceptance in terms of the GST.
So you are talking about GST, yeah. So let me update you. So this is basically a survey which was conducted by one of the leading consulting firms at the end of 6 years of GST. And so according to that survey, more than 90%, in fact about 94% of the CEOs, the leaders of the industries, and it covers wide spectrum, almost all sectors of the economy, they have viewed this as largely positive. And 80% of them have said that it has actually helped them in reducing their logistics costs because of the elimination of the tax arbitrage that was there amongst the states with the VAT and the sales tax, different rates amongst the states, and the removal of the barriers as a result of introduction of GST and one single rate, making it actually, a one nation, one tax, one market. And so 80% of them said that, so this figure that you are mentioning, I think is 80%, and it includes MSMEs, it includes everyone. So really a big win, of course, for the industry, but at the same time, I would say it's a big win, even for the public, especially because they are our largest, most important stakeholders. And the Honorable Finance Minister did make a mention of that also in her speech. And I would like to draw the attention of all your viewers that it has helped all the consumers because the effective tax rates, the GST rates have actually not only brought transparency, because now if you are paying 12%, it is 12%. Previously, there was an excise duty, there was a sales tax or a VAT, then there was a luxury tax, there was an entertainment, and you did not know, as to what effectively tax you were paying on those goods and services. So apart from that, the effective tax rate has also come down on most of the goods and services. So it's been a win-win for the industry, trade, industry, and more important, also importantly, the revenues of both the states and the center, they are continuing to show good growth momentum. So it's a win-win for all the stakeholders. Absolutely, you're right.
Mr. Malhotra, tier 2, tier 3 cities, we interact with MSMEs, that is, micro, medium, small enterprises of the country. They have admitted the fact that this sort of taxation, the GST tax, it's 7 years of a long journey, right from, say, it's a success from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, quite literally. And, putting that, in actual words, from an implementation in J&K back then, and I know you've been here for just over a year, but 6 years back, actually, pacifying the traders in that region to have acceptability of this tax and, wholeheartedly go for it, go for the new tax regime, that is the GST, which is 7 years back to now. I was just reading somewhere that how in Puducherry, you had the biometric-based Aadhaar verification. So through the nation, across the nation, from the Kashmir to Kanyakumari, the GST implementation has had challenges, but today we have the one nation, one tax. Whom would you attribute this success to, Mr. Malhotra?
No, obviously this is the visionary leadership, of our Honorable Prime Minister, because to get all the states together and to agree and to carry out this constitutional amendment, and then to get it implemented. We ought to salute the Honorable Prime Minister. And then, of course, the trade community, they have supported us because there were teething problems, as there would be in any transformation. This was a huge transformation, so credit goes to the trade and industry. And also salutations to all the tax authorities, whether it is in the state and or the center. They have stuck to their guns, and they have done whatever it takes to make tax compliance easy, simplified, rationalized. Number of council meetings have taken place, more than 50, and number of tax measures have been taken to streamline and simplify the taxation. So it's a combined effort of the states and the center under the visionary leadership of the Honorable Prime Minister.
Coming back to the budget, the union budget speech of the Finance Minister, Madam, a lot was expected, and apart from the budget, also in the run-up to budget, there was this chorus about the capital gains tax rejig, the rejigging in the capital gains tax. What is the status of that? How soon can we hear a word on that, on the capital gains tax and the regime?
Two things. One, there is no proposal as of now on capital gains tax. I think you are referring to the long-term capital gains tax primarily, because there are two different rates. One, 10% on assets like equity and mutual funds, equity-based mutual funds, and another 20% on assets like real estate. Seemingly they are very different, 10 and 20, 20 seems to be double. But when we talk of 20%, this also has the benefit of indexation due to inflation. Once that is factored in, the effective taxation is more or less similar. It's about 11% or 12% if one historically looks at the trends of inflation and the benefits of indexation that are passed on to such classes insofar as LTCG is concerned. So it's not such a major issue insofar as revenues are concerned, but as of now, as I said, there is no such proposal. I may also mention that government, the finance minister, is herself also on record to say that we are here to improve taxpayer services. Rationalization and simplification of taxation is one of the key pillars of improving taxpayer services, whether direct or indirect taxes. And so if there is a huge demand, if there is a big issue with respect to anything I'm saying, not LTCG in particular, but any taxation system, any taxation procedure, then the government will do whatever is required to rationalize and simplify those procedures.
Also, the demand for the expectations for how the debt mutual funds could be made equivalent to equity. There's been a lot of buzz on that.
No. So, last year, last budget, we removed the benefits that were being given to the debt mutual funds because mutual funds, only because, they are mutual funds, they should not get the benefit. The benefit is actually on the underlying class of asset. The underlying class of asset, in the case of debt mutual funds, is debt. And the interest on debt actually gets taxed at normal rates of income tax. And so that's how it should be. And so that's how it was made last year. So any expectation that debt mutual funds will carry same kind of long-term capital gains tax as some other classes of tax, as some other classes of assets, is not something that that one should hope for.
Touching the aspect of online gaming has been taxed. For our viewers, I would like to inform them that you, time and again, you've reiterated that 28% is the online gaming taxation rate and even on the face value of it, what is the sort of benefit the country has seen with regard to bringing that online gaming under this taxation regime and having the 28%?
So let me...
if you could just elaborate a little more on...
Yeah, so let me first of all clarify that online gaming was always, subject to tax. However, there was no specific entry for online gaming. So the tax authorities felt that online gaming is like an actionable claim wherein, you put in money, it's like putting in a bet with the hope of getting some reward, some money back. So it was akin to betting, which is an actionable claim as per GST law, which attracts 28% tax rate on each bet. So each time you make a bet, it attracts a 28%. So this was the view of the tax authorities. The view of the industry, on the other hand, was that we are not, we are not the ones, who are playing the games. We are just facilitating the playing of games, online games, by individuals. And so we are charging only a platform fees. And so we should be liable to pay only 18% and 18% on the service charge that we charge those players, and not on the total amount of bet that is placed. So this is where the dispute was, and the GST Council decided that from 1st October last year, we will have a specific entry which was not there for online gaming till then, and they amended the law, provided a specific entry to say that now onwards, it will be 28%, and it will be 28% not on each bet, but on the money, that you put in up front, pay the company. A number of times, you can play. The winnings can also be reused. They are not taxed again. And so effectively they reduced, in a way, the effective taxation from what the tax authorities previously were demanding, but that is only prospective. So this is what the change was brought about. And the impact thereof is that today we are getting good revenues. The revenues have jumped to 6 times. In the 3 months of collections that we have seen, in these 3 months of revenues that have come to us, 4 months, but actually revenue is
October onwards.
So that makes it actually 4 months, but the revenues, we get 1 month later, so we have figures for 3 months. That is November, December, and January.
So if I may ask you, what is the sort of number, what is the sort of figure that the country has achieved after imposing 28% taxation on online gaming? If you could just...
After the changes, I would not say introduction of 28%, because 28% was there even earlier, but the underlying value on which 28% was being charged was different, and now it has been charged, differently. It's on payment rather than on each bet. So the impact thereof is that in these 3 months we have got a revenue of 3,470 crore rupees vis-a-vis 605 crore rupees in the 3 months preceding these changes. So effectively this means that we gain about 10 to 12,000 crore rupees annually. We were getting only 1,600 crore rupees. We got only 1,600 crore rupees in the year 22-23. But in the full year of implementation, at the same rate, hopefully, if this pace continues, we should end up, the center and the state together should end up with higher tax revenues from online gaming companies by about 10,000 crore or so.
So, sir, while I understand that the country will be benefited, the country will get almost 10 to 12,000 crore rupees in its kitty from the online gaming being taxed, I would like to take your attention to the tour and travel. How overseas tours, the limit that has been set is that 7 lakh limit. And a lot of tour and travel players have been asking and have been requesting, urging to actually increase that limit. What is the sort of view on that?
We feel that this limit of 7 lakh rupees, by the way, it is on an individual. By the way, it is on an individual.
7 lakh rupees?
7 lakh per individual is is quite a large amount. It's not a small amount. And moreover, as you have said, it is only a TCS. So it is basically to plug revenue leakages. And so we did find that a number of our taxpayers are actually evading taxes. So this helps us, in getting revenues where it is not due, and where it is due but was not being paid, while at the same time those who are actually not required to pay them, they get a refund thereof.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us, with all the hopes that the taxation measures, taxation policies play a key role to take a country in terms of the growth trajectory and the growth path where its objective lies. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Malhotra. So this was Revenue Secretary Sanjay Malhotra, who enlightened us about tax reforms, tax policies, and what was expected from the Union Budget, the hits and the misses. And we hope in the days to come, the likes of Mr. Malhotra and the Finance Ministry enlightens us. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned.